Hello, queens, kings, and royalties. I'm Mara, and you're watching Horana's Mirror. In today's episode, I'd like to start my very first series, which is Makeup Inspired by Slavic Beasts. I have this book that is based on myths and legends, either written down or passed down generation to generation among the Slavs. It's a collection of Slavic beasts and creatures, featuring the famous Baba Yaga or Lady Mid-Noon, which is Podnica. I thought it would be a cool idea to randomly draw one creature per episode and create a makeup look based on it. Either just the eyes or a full artistic face paint. I already know how it turned out, but I invite you to watch the episode.
Let's go.
Let's see what we've got. This is going to be magical. Love it. This is not staged, so I don't have any sketch. But yeah, we're gonna... Oh damn, yeah. I have something in my mind. Let's follow the process. Seeing these two pages, the concept for this look popped into my head immediately. I started as always with my favorite moisturizing cream, which also acts as a great grippy base for everything underneath. Once that was completely dry, I moved on to the base. I started applying a white foundation brightener. I didn't really need a stark snow white base. I just wanted to subtly brighten my face so the colors could really pop. As you can see, I started applying it with my hands because I couldn't find my blender anywhere. And I figured it would actually give me a great coverage. And I wasn't wrong. It turned out just fine. I dusted on a bit of powder so that the colors I'd be applying next wouldn't blend into the foundation but would just sit perfectly on top. Better, girl, better! So this was me dancing to Mele No Lilo by Disney. Oh my god, what is this? Oh no, I'm gonna get canceled, but Walt Disney. So yeah, due to copyright, I can of course play it. So you have to enjoy some Hawaiian music while me doing a little dance. Of course, it's not Hawaiian dance. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I'm just trying to enjoy the song that I love since I was a little kid. Because I'm actually obsessed with Lilo and Stitch since I was a little kid. I've always wanted to go to Hawaii, but due to, the costs, I never go there, never been there, but hopefully I will be there one day to see how it is in real life. Yeah, that was me dancing. I hope no one got offended because this was just me performing a little dance and showing my love to the culture, the Lilo, the Stitch, and yeah. Back to the makeup. As you can see, I put the yellow thingy around my face. It's like a yellow circle of light, the lanterns. And right now I'm putting a blue pigment on the sides of my face to create this night and dark effect. Okay, now I can tell you a bit about the creatures I drew. They were called bandurki, mischievous beings that prowled around homesteads in the evenings. They used to pretend to be kind, helpful spirits, especially toward those stumbling home from a late-night drinking session at the local tavern. All it took was a quick whistle for them to appear and light the path with their lanterns. However, after hours of walking, the alcohol-induced travelers would realize they had been utterly misled, finding themselves stranded in the middle of nowhere. The moment the victim realized what was happening and tried to flee, the bandurki would pounce on them, beating them, scratching them, and laughing hysterically. Some said you had to quickly cross yourself 3 times and turn your pockets inside out. Others claimed the victim had to strip down to their underwear. Yet, the most effective method was simply sprinting toward home without ever looking back. The creatures would chase the drunkards right to their doorsteps and would then shine their lanterns through the windows and tap on the glass. Safe to say, after an adventure like that, many a liquor enthusiast lost all desire for late-night trips to the tavern. In Polish folklore, they served a moral purpose. They were meant to teach drunkards sobriety and moderation. When it comes to their appearance, they had no fixed form. They could easily disguise themselves as friends, a concerned elderly person, or a short humanoid creature. While I was talking, I quickly moved on to the eyes. I tapped some brown eyeshadow into the outer corner and started blending it inward, towards the bridge of my nose. Then I pulled 2 sharp graphic lines straight out to my hairline. The eyes are strictly inspired by the creatures themselves, while the rest of the face represents the environment and the vibe. Picture a pitch black night in the absolute middle of nowhere. Like I mentioned, we don't have a reliable description of how the bandurki actually looked. Legends say they could appear as a friend, an elderly person, or a short, hairy chupacabra lookalike. Well, that's actually not legends, more like my interpretation. But naturally, I decided to go with the last option. The brown shades are a nod to the thick fur they probably needed to stay warm. And those sharp graphic lines are a perfect representation of their unpredictable nature. And next up, the flower elements, which are a huge motive in my art. I love using them to channel Mother Earth, femininity, and womanhood. In Slavic mythology, they are a powerful symbol of love, fertility, and health. We even believe that flowers can act as a talismans to keep evil spirits at bay. And hey, even though I'm mostly drawing leaves here, it's all about this symbol. Painting the floral motifs, I'm gonna tell you why the voiceover in this episode sucks. So I was traveling from my mother's place to my own by train, and it was so cold. The train had an amazing AC. I would love it if there would be a 30 degrees outside or 40, but it was 20. So the cold air from outside was even colder as it rushed into the train. And I remember falling asleep and waking up fucking cold, shaking, freezing. So yeah, I'm trying my best for you to not notice that I'm kind of sick, but I'm recording the voiceovers over many days, not just in one sitting. So yeah, I'm sorry, babies. I'm rolling my eyes because my biggest enemy just appeared, the white base from my first episode. And if you haven't watched my first video, girl, you better do. In my first video, it was a complete disaster. And right there, it wasn't much better, but you know, it was just an addition instead of the whole white base. But yeah, my face says it all. I wasn't happy. It quickly turned out that the base isn't actually that bad when you apply it into smaller areas. It worked great for outlining and highlighting the shapes I created earlier. It only struggles when it comes to larger areas. Well, next I made a few of these little white stars. They were supposed to imitate the twinkle of stars at night and a light up path. But then I decided there were a bit too many of them, so I wiped some off. Back to the eyelids, I applied a warm gold pigment to the center of the lid to add a bit of shimmer. At first, I tried applying it with a brush, but it went terribly, so I just tried using my finger and it was okay. At this point, I thought Walt Disney had cursed me for laughing at Frozen. Because as usual, there came a moment where I started doubting this makeup. It felt kind of disconnected in my head. I started painting a flame on my forehead. On the first attempt, I wanted to take a more artistic approach, but you couldn't really tell if it was a flame. So I washed it off. And for the second attempt, I went for a simple symmetrical flame right in the middle of my forehead, which tied the eyes together with the rest of the face. That's what I was looking for. Then I quickly threw on some mascara because I hate doing that. And I moved on the lips. I chose a dark navy blue shade that would contrast beautifully with the lighter elements of the makeup. By the way, I used the same shade to contour and darken the sides of my face to tie everything together again. Finally, I outlined the cupid's bow and added some white highlights to the bottom lip to get a bit of a natural glow without stickiness. And voila, makeup is done. So this is the final makeup. So that was my look inspired by Bandurki. Make sure to let me know in the comments how you liked this episode and if you want to see more from this series. It would mean the world to me if you could leave a thumbs up and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching and see you on the next video.